welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Claudia. I'm a salon owner, makeup artist / technician, but most of all I am mum to my little boy Louie. So today is going to be a video I wish I watched before I was pregnant, so I could literally like prepare myself for what was going to happen to me during pregnancy. Now this is a disclaimer, every pregnancy is different, so I'm not going to sit here and say that everything that how I felt will be how you will feel or what happened during your pregnancy. This is just a video just to show how I felt and what could possibly happen and what you should make yourself definitely prepared for, because there was a lot of things that I did not know about. So I got pregnant during the first ever lockdown in the UK, so that was, I think it started in the March. So my pregnancy was obviously a little bit different to maybe someone else's because I did go through pregnancy during lockdown. So a lot of the things that I felt may have been contributed to because of coronavirus and the lockdown, and you may not feel this way. I really want to push that because I don't want to scare anyone, and this isn't a video of me moaning about being pregnant. I just wish I was prepared for some of this stuff. I'm going to do it in a time frame, so what I sort of felt first and what I was shocked about. The last one is very deep and I like to get it across because I know that there's some things that this thing that I'm going to say last I didn't know about. I perhaps maybe got a bit confused and upset when this didn't happen to me. But since talking about it more, it has sort of shown me that it's not a bad thing, and it doesn't mean you don't love your child, but anyway, I will get into it at the end. So to begin with, so I was pregnant in lockdown. So when I found out I was pregnant, absolutely like my boobs hurt, that's probably about it. Felt a little bit sick and just tired, but this really went on like to be very tiring and very to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed, which I now know was prenatal depression. It wasn't long, it didn't last long. It probably lasted about 3 weeks maybe of my pregnancy, but I literally could not get myself out of bed. My mum would walk in and be like, "Are you getting out of bed today?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't want to." And it wasn't because I was tired, it was just because I generally just felt numb. And I was extremely happy, but it wasn't, it's not how it felt. I inside was very, very happy that I was pregnant. There was no reason why I shouldn't be happy, but it was like I just couldn't bring myself to feel it, if that made sense. Like, I was so happy, don't get me wrong, but I was just so drained, and I don't know if that contributed to it. Also, I couldn't see anyone. I was in lockdown, I was at home with my mum. Partner was at home with his mum and dad for some of it too. So at this point I did feel, looking back now, it probably was prenatal depression, and like I said, it didn't last long, but I was very shocked about that. When you get pregnant, I almost thought that you just feel sick and tired, but this was like new level. Like, I was just crying in bed and I just couldn't stop, and I was thinking, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I unhappy? I don't feel unhappy, but am I? So yeah, that was one of the things that actually really shocked me about the first part of pregnancy. Like I said, it didn't last long. It's probably about a month of my pregnancy I felt like that, but we was in a lockdown. I couldn't see anyone, couldn't see my friends, family, so that could have contributed to it, but it still happened. So, and I want you to know that it's very normal. I have seen other videos, for example, Danielle Armstrong from The Only Way is Essex, she touched on it in her video, and that was one of the videos that I actually watched, and it made me feel like, okay, this is normal, this is I'm not crazy and I'm not upset about being pregnant, even though I feel it, but I'm not. If that makes any sense, I don't know, maybe that's the only way I can describe it. But yeah, I just want you to know that if you are in the early stages of pregnancy and you're very happy but you just can't get those feelings out, that is completely normal. If you want to lay in your bed all day and you just don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to see one, that is normal. Just do what you need to do, because that's what I did, and eventually it did pass. It passed on week 12 where I had my first scan, so I think that also has a lot to do with it, where you don't really want to tell anyone that you're pregnant, because that was another thing no one really knew apart from the people who were close to me. You don't really want to tell anyone, like, in case something happens. So you've just got that pregnant, there's just so many emotions and your hormones all over the place. So yeah, don't feel like it's not normal, because it is. So that disappeared about week 12. After that, I had the worst tailbone pain. So I know when you get pregnant, people are like, oh, my back, mate. This was like, nah, I couldn't even sit down. Couldn't even sit down. And if someone did, I had to have a pillow. It was like literally my tailbone, like, I guess the bit like it was like above my bum cheek, above my butt crack, where I guess a tail would be if I had one. Yeah, and honestly, sitting down was so painful. And I thought your back hurt when you had a bump, when you were like a bit bigger, but no, it was like, I get sciatica being a lash technician. I do get sciatica, but it was literally like that. Again, this wasn't a symptom that lasted the whole time. It was just one that happened during the beginning, which I find absolutely mental, because I'm like, how can these things happen at the beginning? Like, your body is just amazing. Your body is doing all these things and causing all these things to happen to you. Yes, they hurt, but it's your body getting ready. Your hips are moving, your like whole bones, like your body is like making room for this human you're about to build. And yeah, I think I wasn't prepared for that. So since obviously having my whole body shape has changed. Before I was pregnant, this is what I looked like. This was before I went to Miami, which was about probably 2 months before I was pregnant. And now if you looked at me now, my hips are literally like, whew, come out wide, which I'm not actually mad about, because I like curves, do you know what I mean? I've always had a big butt, and having the hips to go with it is sort of like, okay, cool, I can deal with it. But yeah, I wasn't prepared for some of the body changes, but that is going to be in a postpartum video, which I'm going to do later on down the line. This is about pregnancy. As it was getting bigger, I literally had the worst rib pain. So I know, again, these are the things that you hear about, but I wasn't prepared for. Like, but the only way I can describe this pain was as if someone had got a lighter. And I used to say this, how I used to explain it to everyone, because I've been in so much pain. Someone had got a lighter and burnt like underneath my bra line, but there was nothing there. It wasn't red, it wasn't anything. It was all inside, and I'm guessing it's just from where my muscles are stretching, but that was insane. But that was crazy. And then obviously following on with that, that was a pain that started about month 4, and that continued to the end, because he just did not get out of my ribs, honestly, the whole time. When he was born, he had like a tiller-piece thing with his foot, so it's like, it's not club foot, but it's like where his foot had been so pushed up in my rib, which now I know why, that I had to like give him massages to like mould his feet back together. Not back together, I had to like mould his feet back into like position, because they were like only one of his feet, but now I know why, because he was literally in my rib, and every time I had a kick, it was never like down here, it was always in my rib from month 4 onwards, and it was so fucking painful, like mad. I literally, instead of sitting on the sofa at night, I would literally sit on my exercise ball, and just because it would make me keep my back straight. Some days I literally just used to lay there like that, just holding my boobs up, because it hurt that much. So yeah, that was another thing I wasn't prepared for. One of the weirdest things, so this happened, I don't know, how much is it, 4, 8, 12? Yeah, so around 25 weeks, I didn't know this would happen. I thought this happened once you've had the baby, but my boobs started to leak colostrum, which I was like, what the hell? Like, honestly, I think one day I was just sitting there and I had like a little tiny, it must have been about that big, I can't really do it because my nails, not that big, yeah, like that, of a mark where my nipple is. And like, yeah, it was wet, and I was like, what the hell? And then yeah, from then on, like, it just got worse. I thought that happened after you had the baby, not during pregnancy, so that was another thing. had to be careful what I wore from then on, didn't I? Not that you can wear a lot when you're pregnant. Just one of the things that I didn't really think would happen, and I just definitely wasn't prepared for. I was wearing like breast pads at 25 weeks pregnant, so yeah, that was crazy. This time on, obviously you got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm like, when is this going to change? So I didn't sleep a lot. I'd be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like downstairs watching Call the Midwife on my exercise ball, just like bouncing away, getting rid of that rib pain, because I could just not sleep because of this rib pain. It was so horrible. And it wasn't like I couldn't sleep just because of the pain. Even if I felt I wasn't in pain, I would just wake up. It wasn't because of any like pain that I was going through mostly. It was just I had insomnia. I could just not sleep. I will tell you now, I got more sleep being a brand new mum to a newborn than I did when I was pregnant. So don't worry, Hans, it does get better. If you feel like you're not getting much sleep during pregnancy, just look to the future. When that newborn's here, you're going to sleep because they sleep. And you can sleep when they sleep, and you ain't got nothing kicking you inside, and you ain't got nothing hurting. Alright? So just stay strong, stay tuned, and you'll get there, I promise. Okay, my favourite symptom of all, which I honestly, mum police don't shoot me, pregnancy police don't shoot me, but I literally drank Gaviscon out of the bottle, along with, I used to buy those little cartons of milk because of my heartburn. So in daily life, my normal life before I was pregnant, even now, I don't suffer with heartburn. I've never really had heartburn in my life, apart from when I was pregnant, and it was mad. Like, I heard people say it again. It's one of those things like, oh yeah, you got bad heartburn. No, this was insane. I was literally, it was like I was drinking Gaviscon to put out the fire in my chest. It's obviously just from where your stomach is just so like pushed of me laying down. This was probably in December time, November maybe. Actually no, I think we was in lockdown. So I'm glad that's over. That was the most horrible symptom for me before giving birth. And if I'm rating it out of 10, I was clutching onto that semi-skimmed and my Gaviscon bottle. Honestly, it's just all I had. By the side of my bed every night I would take a bottle of Gaviscon. Lewis literally went to the car park and was like, they've run out. You've bought all the bottles. I couldn't stop drinking it. It was horrible. It was like, literally felt like there was a fire in my chest. And since, it's mad, because since I've had Louie, not once have I had heartburn. At 10, it really hit me, I'm not gonna lie. The next one is, so you know when people say you can't see your feet? You can't, right? Which, okay, I was cool with. But I was literally having to tie my shoes. I literally live in Converses, and I was literally having to tie my shoes to the side. So my laces were never in the middle, it was in the side, because that's the only way I could do my shoe up. So I weren't prepared for that, and then as it got to the end I couldn't even wear shoes. I had to wear sliders everywhere because my feet were that fat. Everyone was concerned. Hence, if you watch my birth story video, you would know that I had monitoring because my feet were fat and I had high blood pressure, so they thought it was preeclampsia, but I don't think it was. I think my feet are fat anyway. So I think when you put working, because I worked until we went into lockdown in December the 20th, and he was due on the 10th of Jan, so I was heavy when I stopped work, and I was going up and down the stairs of the salon all the time, and yeah, so I'm not surprised my feet were fat, to be honest with you. But yeah, I couldn't even put shoes on. Christmas Day, my mum bought me a pair of nice slippers. I couldn't get them on. I had to wear them after, and I also bought myself a pair of mallet trainers thinking, I'm going to treat myself. Treat yourself, you know, like just treat yourself, because you're tired and you're pregnant. And I couldn't wear them until Louie was a good 3 months old because my feet had still not gone down. So yeah, that was mad as well. So in regards to appointments and stuff, obviously my appointment's very different to other people's who haven't had a baby during a pandemic, because Lewis couldn't actually come to any of my appointments with me. So yeah, I had to do a lot of it on my own, which was fine. He was always outside or like waiting for me somewhere, but he couldn't come in, which was really annoying. So yeah, I suppose I wasn't prepared for the anxiety that I'd get going into a scan. And I know that sounds so naive and I know that sounds so stupid, but yeah, I just thought I wouldn't have that anxiety. I don't know why, but honestly, going into then scans on my own, I don't know if it's because I was just on my own, but going into scans on my own, I'm just like, I was so anxious that something was wrong, and I don't think I was prepared for that anxiety. Cause like you're literally, your heart like stops, like waiting for them to say everything's okay. But yeah, so that I wasn't really prepared for that either, and then it obviously made it 10 times worse going in on my own. Obviously I wasn't prepared for midwives not to turn up to my birth either, but I mean that's a whole new kettle of fish. We'll leave that out. I think I covered all that last time. They're all like physical symptoms. The first one was obviously like mentally. So this last one, it's not controversial, that's not the word, but I feel like, I'm gonna shut my notebook and get deep now, guys. I'm gonna get deep. When you see birth on TV, when you see birth on soaps, when you see birth, I don't know, when you see Instagram, YouTube videos, and everyone, to my knowledge, that I see, has this rush of oxytocin that they get, which is basically after you've had your child, at that moment you have a rush of oxytocin and you feel overwhelmed and just a rush of love and just want to cry. Something that I wasn't prepared for. So I was always thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna cry my eyes out, blah 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 blah. I felt nothing, and I beat myself up about that for like at least a good couple months. It wasn't that I felt nothing towards Louie. Obviously, like he come out, and to me I was just like, oh, a baby. I don't know if it was because of the sort of shock I went through having a bit of a crazy labour, but yeah, like you hear it all the time of people just having this like rush of love, and I just didn't have it. But it wasn't, not that I didn't love him, it was just I didn't have that rush that you initially get when you have a baby. Well, when you think you're meant to get it. But speaking to more people since having Louie, a lot of people have said they didn't have that, so it made me feel a lot better. But yeah, I just was not prepared for that. I thought I was gonna get this rush of like, I love you so much, look at him, blah blah blah. But I didn't. He just sort of came out, and the paramedic passed him to me and was just like, put him on your boob. I had no idea what I was doing in regards to breastfeeding. I didn't really have much support, to be honest. Bless Andy, the paramedic, I mean, it wasn't his fault. He probably isn't trained in giving breastfeeding support. But yeah, he was just like, try and feed him, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is my first baby. This baby just come out on my living room floor, and now he's in my arms, and I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on? And I beat myself up about that. I did for like 2 months. I was thinking, am I a bad mum? Like, do I not love my child? But doing research, talking to other mums, it's so normal. So one bit of advice that I would give anyone who's pregnant with their first child, I mean, just don't watch soaps. Don't watch One Born Every Minute. That's my main bit of advice for you. Don't watch One Born Every Minute, because them births are not the ideal ones to be watching. One, because you see women like, it's good drama for TV, so it'll probably scare you because they like to make it a drama, do you know what I mean? Whereas real life, it isn't like One Born Every Minute. So obviously when you first get pregnant, I don't know, I did it, I started watching, look at this, golden hour. Nature is on my side today. But yeah, don't watch One Born Every Minute. That's exactly what I did when I got pregnant, and I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen here? So I stopped watching that and took a hypnobirthing course instead, and it was a much more productive way to spend my time. And yeah, so I stopped watching One Born Every Minute and realised that a lot of it is just edited for drama. You don't scream during pregnancy like they do on soaps, because you literally can't. You can't. If you try and scream like, ah, like that baby's not coming out because you're not pushing. Like if you're having a baby, you're literally like you moo. You don't scream, you moo. You turn into a farm animal, and that's okay. Like a prenatal depression thing, I feel like it sort of comes under that. I really wasn't prepared not to have that rush of love, and I almost felt like I did it wrong and that I should have. But now I look back and realise that no, it's fine. Things that I didn't get told about pregnancy are mainly heard, but I didn't realise how intense they would be in regards to physical symptoms, and random ones like my tailbone hurting. But when you think about it logically, these things are going to happen because your whole body's moving and it's making way for some big ass head like my son has. In regards to like the first few weeks, like with prenatal depression and stuff, I feel like it is something that you do question, and you do question yourself, but just know that it is normal. You have so many hormones going on in your body, literally. Like, our bodies are amazing, and for it to do its work, it's going to make you feel some kind of way, do you know what I mean? So just know that it is normal, don't worry. And for that last one, yeah, don't beat yourself up if you don't have that rush of love, or your birth isn't the way you wanted it to go, or you've made a birth plan and it doesn't go to plan. It's not your fault. As long as your baby gets here safe, it's absolutely fine. Like, just remember that, because obviously I wasn't prepared for my birth to go how it went. I had a birth plan in mind. My birth plan was so chill. I was like, right, yeah, I'm gonna go into labour, I'm just gonna chill all day, which I did. And my birth plan didn't go to plan at all. I didn't even fill up the pool that I wanted to get in. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't go to plan, it's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up about it. As long as you do it safely and the baby arrives safely, you're going to be absolutely fine. And in regards to when the baby comes, also, like, don't beat yourself up, because I loved my son as soon as he was born. I loved him when he was in my stomach. I loved him. He wasn't in my stomach. I loved him when he was in my womb. Like, you do just have that love. But for the rush that comes when you give birth, I didn't have it. And that doesn't say that I don't love my child. It just means that the moment, it was crazy. Like, so don't beat yourself up if you don't have that, because that's what I did. And I think I wasted a lot of time thinking about it. We just have such an amazing bond, and I just love him so much. And I miss him. He's with his childminder at the minute. It's nearly 5 o'clock and nearly time to pick him up, so I'm gonna have to go. But yeah, I just wanted to reassure people. So this video was mainly just to reassure people that if they're feeling these tough things, it is normal. If there's anything that you do feel and you do need to get checked out, call your midwife. Like, there's never a stupid question. If you still feel a certain way, you feel like something is wrong, always call your midwife. I am going to do a video on what no one told me about postpartum, which is a lot more detailed, a lot more graphic, because there's a lot of stuff that's happened to me postpartum that I have not been told. I don't care what anyone says. No one told me what happens, right? No one. In regards to my downstairs, like, emotions, my life. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a more interesting video, but this is just a little warm up. So guys, hold on to your hats. I will be back. So if you've liked this video, if there's anything that you suffered with when you were pregnant, comment it down below. Like, I'd love to know, because hopefully I am going to be lucky enough to get pregnant again at some point in the future. So I would love to know, because every pregnancy is different. So yeah, comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to my channel for more makeup and mum videos. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna go pick my son up so I can give him loads of cuddles. Have a lovely evening, and bye.